may not take all of the 8 minutes, but I'm here because I know who Dan Brennan is and I know him for a long time. I'm not a member of the Agriculture Committee, and I want to congratulate its chair, Deputy Cahill, and the various members of the committee for their untiring and unceasing work on this. It gives me great faith, actually, in your committee and in the workings of this House, that we can get to this point, and the Minister's response today, I'll come back to that in a moment. But the reason I know Dan Brennan is I got to know him as a member of the European Parliament. He's not even in the constituency I represented. But when he came to see me and he laid his case out, I, like all of you, were immediately struck by the fact that this was a case that had to be heard, that the evidence that I could see, the reports, etc., that were placed in front of me were such that it would have been egregious not to have his case heard and for him and his family to find some kind of justice. And I also want to mention the farming organisations and to welcome Francie Gorman and Dennis Drennan here today, because they have stood shoulder to shoulder with him. And last can, when you see TDs from all sides of the House, and you see farm organisations, their leaders, down through the years, standing with Dan Brennan, you know that this is a substantial case. This is not just an issue that can be brushed under the carpet. But to come back to what happened at the European level, I mean, I was a member of the Petitions Committee. I was there when Dan came on a number of occasions. I met him. I have no memory of any public discussion on this file being sent back to Dublin. There was certainly no agreement about that. And I'd like to know, and it's crazy that as a member of that committee, I'm standing up in this House asking, what happened to that file? Where did it go? Who sent it? Who was it sent to? Is it still there? I mean, those questions, somebody needs to answer them. The answer may be, I don't know, but at least we need to get an answer. And in order to get an answer, somebody needs to see what happened. Now, the relevance of that, I just can't say, because I don't know what's in the file. But certainly the relevance of all of the detail that you went through here today, Deputy Cahill, that is unquestioned. All the different letters from 3 vets, from the veterinary college, as saying there were no diseases, but yet a department report says that it was probably down to some kind of infectious disease. I wonder, was that infectious disease ever established? Did they actually say what it was? Or did they just say it probably is? Because we don't know what it is. There was no independent pathologist brought in to do the postmortems. Why did that happen again? And the letters and the words from, as I said, so many different vets and the veterinary college were just ignored. And again, Deputy Cahill, you raised the issue of the EPA lab and the glitch, whatever that is, that happened there. The sample, how did it happen? Why did it happen? All the evidence, and I have believed this from really the very first time I met Dan Brennan, but my belief has got stronger over the years that there is something really wrong here. And I've never stood up in this House and said that about anything else. And as I said, he's the other side of the country from me, but there's something really wrong here. And Minister, in the last debate, you said, that was last November, that you had read all the reports and you were satisfied there were no unanswered questions. I'm just wondering if that's still the case. You did say that there's no new information as such, but I think we'll all have to agree that there are very significant disputes and discrepancies between what the department says and what other experts say. There might be nothing new, because in a way, how could you expect to have anything new so many years after the event, if you like, or events concluded. What we need to look at are the differences, the discrepancies, what happened, and what the department says and what other experts say. And as Deputy Carty said, one thing we know for sure, because all of those who know him, all of those in the farming organisations say that he was a model farmer, he and his family. And certainly the timing of what happened cannot be disputed. That doesn't mean there was definitely a relationship, but it's very strong evidence to investigate that relationship between the opening and closing of the factory and the ill health of Dan Brennan's herd. But look, Minister, today, from what I heard, you saying that there will be a review. And I just took down what you said, that you would review the department's work in relation to this and also information alongside that too. I think I have that accurately. So and I welcome that, Minister. But what I want to say is it's absolutely crucial that the terms of review or investigation are extensive enough to take all available evidence into consideration. Not just the work of the department, but all of the letters, reports, information from vets, the Vet College, Teagasc, EPA, all of those who are involved in this case. And as I said, if relevant, that infamous file that somehow seems to have made its way from Brussels to Dublin and then disappeared. You have taken the first step, and thank you for that. I'm glad to see it. It's late, but you're the Minister now, and you're doing the right thing. And you can be assured of that, Minister. But just to make sure the terms of reference are extensive enough, and secondly, that whatever person heads up this investigation needs to be independent and needs to be seen to be independent. That's easy for you to do, and whether it might be a retired judge or somebody who, as I said, is seen to be independent, because this has dragged on for too long and it does need to be dealt with. So thank you for what you said today, and we look forward to hearing how this will progress. And as I said, once again, thanks to the Agriculture Committee. This is good work, and I hope it ends well. And to Dan Brennan for his tenacity and his courage. It's just incredible. But I suppose this is his life's work, his family farm, and he wants to see that justice is done, that every piece of information is taken into consideration, and that we get an independent review. And we all, I think, can say we'd look forward to that. Thank you, Escal.
Thank you, Deputy Mike.